Boy, now we're into the dog days of summer for sure. John 1:11 says, He came to his own people, Jesus. He came to his own people, and even they rejected him. In the previous verse, verse 10, it was surprising enough to learn that Jesus' own creation didn't recognize him. But I explained that Jesus had come incognito. But here in verse 11 we learn that he came specifically to his own people, to whom he had been revealing himself for 2,000 years. And even they rejected him. Now in verse 10, it says that the world didn't recognize him. And that might be an explanation here, but here in verse 11, that's not the word John uses. Here John says they didn't receive him. That's different. It's as if they recognized him, but wouldn't let him in. Just as always through the Bible, once again we see that God is the initiator. He came to his own people. He reached out to us, just as he was searching for Adam and Eve in the garden after their sin. Just as he revealed himself to Noah, Abraham, Moses, and countless others. He doesn't wait for us to come to him. He comes to us. He is the God who comes, who initiates the attempt at forming a relationship, who seeks and saves those who are lost. He came to his own, the verse says. The implication is that of relationship. His family, those to whom he belongs, his people, those whom he loves. This is no philosophical or theological exercise, but the actions of someone who loves his family. But here's the shocker, that even his own rejected him. How is that possible? Why didn't they receive him? John is already giving hints at what the rest of his gospel will explain. They're filled with darkness, a theme he will speak more about in John 3:19. They prefer darkness because the deeds are evil. The light hurts their eyes, so to speak, meaning that it threatens their worldview, their power base, and their pride. The light, Jesus, is viewed not just as competition, but as a violation of their being. John will develop this thought through the book. Jesus threatens their religious answers, their theology, their stature in the community, their security in economic and political systems, and their confidence in their own knowledge and learning. He is such a threat to their status quo that they would rather kill than change. The ultimate rejection, to be tossed aside by one's own people, one's own family. As Jesus will teach later, we who are followers of him may also be rejected by our families. But in this case, it's not just his family, because we don't get to choose our families. In this case, it's his chosen people, the Jews, his adopted children. He chose them. He chose to take them in. He chose to love them. And he blessed them over and over and did everything he could for them. So when they turn against him, it's a double hurt. They're family, and that's bad enough. But they're chosen, so it's even worse. You might ask, why would God come for people who are going to reject him? It's because he never stops trying. He wants relationships so badly, he comes even to those who are rejecting and hateful. He comes even to those who are sinners. That's Romans 5:8. He comes into the darkest places to shine his light, never intimidated, never afraid, to win those who will come to him. He has that kind of love, that kind of desire for us, and that kind of will to bring us into his family. Love is always a risk. Parents take the same risk. So do spouses. You might ask, well, why didn't he make it so that people would receive him? Well, yeah, free will is the answer there. It's not just that he wants us to have free will, it's necessary. There's no such thing as love without it. There's no such thing as reason or thinking without it. If you don't choose to love, it's not love at all. If I can't weigh information, think about different hypotheses, consider data, and choose how to work through a problem, the data, the solutions, then thinking can't exist. Free will is necessary for being human. So even though God wants everyone in heaven with him, if God in heaven is the only choice we have, then it's not really a choice. And it's not love. It's as simple as that. Someone might ask, well, why would he give them a chance to walk away from something that is so good for them? Suppose you had a boyfriend or girlfriend, and you knew the two of you were great together, and there were things about you that were exactly what he needs in a woman, and these were the things that would help him. So let's assume he gets tired of the relationship, or he's just stupid, and he breaks off this relationship that could be great for him. Can you, or should you, force him to stay with you and force him to love you? Well, that's ridiculous, and it's a contradiction. That would be awful. You can't force somebody to do that. It wouldn't be love for sure. Someone might ask, well, you wouldn't let your kid make a bad choice, right? Well, as parents, we have to do this on occasion. You can't force everything. We can't make them into little robots. Sometimes they learn best because we let them make a bad decision and suffer the consequences. Sometimes they actually refuse to listen to us. And sometimes they actually insist on making bad decisions. Sometimes we tried hard to stop them from making bad decisions, but they plowed right ahead and do it anyway. Love has to act on a different level than force. We can't protect them from every pain, from every stupidity in themselves or in others, or from every mistake they might make. And I don't think it would be wise to protect them from all that stuff. They have to learn to find their own way. They have to make their own decisions. They have to learn from life. Parenting can be real tough a lot of times, but it's really no different from God, because there are lessons that we have to learn from hard times. God just can't interfere in everything in our lives, and he can't force us to love him. The verse says he came to his own family, the Jews, with wide open arms, a universe full of love, and an invitation to die for. And they spurned him. They made fun of him, and they said they wanted nothing to do with him. The only way to issue the invitation to love was to come, knowing that some would reject. But to those who will receive him, whoever they are, they get to be part of his family, get to be made into new creations, given new hearts, transformed minds, and a new and meaningful purpose in life. Well, who would reject that? Lots of people do, sadly and senselessly. Anyone who really gets it would give anything to have what he offers. But that's what the next verse is all about. Stay tuned.